Hey guys, it's Stephen here. Doesn't today feel a lot brighter after last night's result? Yes, Liverpool dropped some points and the title race has been blown wide open after our 3-1 victory against Arsenal and Liverpool dropping some points against West Ham and Leicester in back-to-back games. But today I'm going to be talking about tomorrow's game, the Everton game, where Everton, most of Everton's fans anyway, are going to be Manchester City fans tomorrow. But don't forget, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video and all that kind of stuff. And once again, I'm trying this dead new and nice angle. Do you like it? It's really good. And also a bit of housekeeping as well. There'll be a link at the end of the video, but I also did appear today on a Ball Street video talking to the good chap James Orcott about Manchester City's title race, so go and check that out. I'll put a link on the screen now and it'll be at the end of the video in the card and stuff. Go and check that out. It was really good fun. I popped on the Skype on my lunch break and chatted about the title race and whether City are back into it, and it was quite fun. I quite enjoyed doing that. It's a very contentious question, but I enjoyed it. I also want to give a very quick shout out to my newest patron, James Moshella. James, thank you very much for joining me and thank you for your wonderful surname, Moshella. It's absolutely brilliant. If you want to get involved, guys, patreon.com/Esteemed Company. I do shout outs for people who $3 tier and in the credits and all that kind of stuff. And also, I have the $10 tier where people can get involved in the Patreon-only Q&A where you get your questions answered every single month. Basically, go and get involved in that if you want to help support this channel a little bit. You're all absolute heroes. Either way, if you don't, just keep watching these videos and that means the world to me. But going forward to this game is absolutely huge, and this is going to be a game of utmost importance. And I think Guardiola and everyone else pretty much knows it. We can go top of the table tomorrow night if we win tomorrow night. Of course, that's the very big if there. But it will be with a game in hand. But still, the pressure that will put on Liverpool, which I guess every team will feel given the fact that it is a title race, but that will be a very significant moment in the title race. They'll know that City, we're not messing about here, and all of a sudden seeing them down in second place, even though they will have a game in hand against United eventually, that will basically put the fear in them. It'll put the fear in them entirely, and as a mental boost for us, that'll be huge going into the Chelsea game at the weekend, which makes this game even more important. Now, there was loads of stuff on the press conference as well. Guardiola in particular was quite chatty. He said Goodison is always a tough game for us. Depending on the results, the approach is the same. Go there, try and make a good performance and win the game. And of course, we have the chance because Liverpool don't play to go top. And basically, he means there is like, it's an important game. We have to go to the top, even if they can't play. He knows the importance of that, sending a message there. People also asked him about Spurs and how come they're not in the title race. And he said, well, I never say they're not. This you guys, the press, saying that, which is a very good point. And he also talked about the reaction of his players after a defeat. He said, I like to see my teams in the past, recently, hopefully in the future, being not happy when they lose a game. I like to see that. I don't like my players to laugh when they lose a game. I don't know if that's a reference to anything, but basically he wants a reaction. And I think it's fair to say, in general, he got it. Bernardo was also quite loud as well in the build-up to the game, saying the dressing room atmosphere is currently fantastic. Everybody's trying to help each other to improve and to help the teammates next to you. So we just want to be better players game by game and to try and be a better team and try and win some titles at the end of the season. Bernardo, I love you, mate, and I could not agree more. And it's also a very little bit of news about Vincent Kompany and his contract. He was speaking last night at an event in dedication, I think, to his 10 years and organised kind of by something to do with the city in general. Like I think it's something to do with the current crisis of homelessness in Manchester. Speaking at that event about his contract, he said, I'm in a very privileged position. I've got such a good relationship with the club that we're in this as partners. Nobody is making any hasty decisions. We have fixtures and fixtures and fixtures coming up and 4 trophies still to play for and a contract that still exists. That's the key thing. There's no need to look too far beyond that and everybody's relaxed. And that's how I feel too, Vinny. I think basically if the club want him, which they should definitely want him in my personal opinion, we're in no rush really because Vinny will basically just trust the club to have the last say. And I think he won't be looking for other clubs until he knows that, hopefully this will happen, but until he knows that one day City don't want him anymore. So some nice little bits of news there. But anyway, let's go on to the team news. Basically, pretty much everyone is fit, according to Guardiola, except Vincent Kompany and Mangala. Mangala, I don't know if he's injured again or he's just like Pep saying that because he doesn't want to play him, you know, he doesn't want to get him involved. I think Mangala will never be in a blue shirt again. That's probably a wise thing. But apparently Vincent Kompany isn't fit, so that's a shame. He's still obviously having all the niggles constantly, and he is a very expensive fourth centre-back, I'll give you that, but he also is Vincent Kompany, and that man should be here as long as he wants to be. But that does also imply that Benjamin Mendy could be fit and that he could be involved. He's obviously been having all these struggles with his knee at the moment and all that kind of stuff, which makes it very hard for him to get involved. But it'd be great if he could come back for the business end of the season, given the games we've got coming up, given the fact that we are currently still in 4 trophies as well. It'd be an absolute huge boost. And obviously as well, there's no Claudio Bravo, given the fact that he's still getting over a long-term injury. But if we move on to the lineup this where it gets a little bit tricky. Now, you've got to bear in mind some of the players looked a little bit tired after the Arsenal game. Understandably, it's a big game after a very tough period of games for Manchester City. And also the fact that we've got Chelsea coming up the weekend, and you want your players available for that, given the fact that this is a bit of a grudge match against Chelsea, given the fact that they beat us last time. Now, for me, I can see a few changes. I think Ederson will go in goal. Obviously, why wouldn't he go in goal? Ederson is a robot and he's totally fine always. Walker, I thought the other day, had a good game. Now, whether that was because he could concentrate on defending and not go into midfield because Fernandinho's going to midfield, I don't know. But that was Walker more of last season, in my opinion. And he will play this game because Kyle Walker just played most games. And then I actually think we'll see a return to the traditional two at the back, centre-back thing, not the Fernandinho experiment. I think we'll see Stones and Laporte and then Danilo at left-back. Now, there is, once again, a case maybe we could see Laporte left back like we've seen a few times recently. We could see also Mendy in defence, but I still think we'll see Danilo come back into the team because he hasn't done that much wrong. And I think in general he will play this game and offer a little bit of support going forward. Fernandinho will anchor the midfield, in my opinion. Fernandinho could be, once again, a centre-back. We could do that weird alternative false centre-back thing that we did the other day, but I just can't see it. I think we'll go for a more traditional system here. And Stones as well, a centre-back. He probably wants to play against his old club, and Stones has been in good form, so I'm expecting he'll come back into the team. Maybe for a bit of sharpness ahead of the Chelsea game, because we could need him there. We could need a more traditional centre-back pairing against Chelsea, given the fact they got Higuain banging form at the moment. I'll say banging form. New guy doing quite well as he started his career at Chelsea. And you want Stones and Laporte to have a bit of rhythm going into that game to deal with him. So I can see Fernandinho back into midfield. And then ahead of him, now, De Bruyne did look absolutely knackered after the Arsenal game. He did have a bit of cramp, and obviously that could come into factor here. David Silva's not been in great form. Gundogan played well the other day, albeit in a slightly deeper role, and Bernardo was fantastic. I can see Bernardo definitely starting, and then alongside him is where it gets complicated. Now, I can see arguments for any three of Gundogan, David Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne. I am going to say David Silva. I think David Silva will play, and I think Kevin De Bruyne will be slightly rested ahead of the Chelsea game, because I think that's a really important game, and the kind of game he could make a difference. He'll be on the bench, obviously, if we need him. But for me, I think it'll be David Silva and Bernardo Silva. Going forward, I can actually see Mahrez coming back into the team for his first start in a while. I think he'll just play. I think you'll see Sterling as the kind of guy to sit out and get a little bit of a relaxation ahead of the Chelsea game. And then I think he'll actually play Gabriel Jesus as well, who's probably chomping at the bit for a start, given his recent form. And Aguero will be rested, in my opinion, for the Chelsea game once again, with Sane coming back into the team too. So it's quite a few changes I've gone for here. It might not happen, but it does give us plenty of options off the bench, and I think Pep will take a very calculated risk. I say a risk, it's still a hell of a strong team if we do line up this way, but I think he'll have Chelsea in the corner of his eye, and that's probably not a bad thing really. And going on to the opposition view, well, Everton aren't in that good a form. Let me get their recent results up. In general, it's not been a good spell, and obviously there's lots of doubts about Marco Silva. Currently, he looks haggard, he looks tired, and Everton seems to be breaking another manager. Now, they lost 3-1 on Saturday to a Wolves team, who are a good team. That would have stung a little bit for Marco Silva and Everton. They did beat Huddersfield before that, but they also got knocked out of the FA Cup to Millwall 3-2. Lost to Southampton before that, beat Bournemouth before that 2-0, but also did lose to Leicester and Brighton recently. A little bit of respite a few weeks back, beating Burnley 5-1, but got battered obviously by Spurs 6-2. They're currently not doing that well. I mean, they're down in ninth, but it's not quite been quite the run of form that they would have expected, obviously, Everton fans. They're not struggling in terms of they'll be safe from relegation and all that kind of stuff, but life's a bit kind of confusing as an Everton fan at the moment in terms of they're just up and down, and in general, their overall form isn't that good. Some stats here as well. Everton have just won one of the last 11 Premier League games against City. So in general, the Goodison record has kind of died down a little bit. We're kind of slightly, hopefully, touch wood, getting past that bogey team thing. It still doesn't feel comfortable going there, but the omens aren't too bad, really. So fingers crossed we can get something. And they have actually lost 3 of the last 4 Premier League games and only won 1 of them. So that's not a good run of form at home. So in theory, given the fact that Everton fans probably want City to win to stop the other side of Liverpool getting a title boost, basically, I wouldn't be surprised It was a very weird atmosphere at Goodison Park. Now, in terms of news, in terms of fitness, Marcus Silva did confirm Idrissa Gueye is back, but they will be without Yerry Mina, Leighton Baines, and Phil Jagielka. So some key players there. Though they have got obviously some very talented players. Richarlison is always good for a goal. Lookman's in decent form. Walcott off the bench with his pace always terrifies me. He always is capable of scoring against City. We've seen it for Arsenal before. And Sigurdsson's definitely capable of pinging the ball in from 30, 40 yards, given his ability from set pieces and generally just from open play. Sigurdsson's a good player. They've got some good players, and I always do fear playing Everton, but we should be okay if we do turn up, which goes on to the prediction bit. I hate this prediction bit because I always feel like people are going to have a go at me if I predict a City win and we don't win. Obviously, it makes no difference what I say, but I hate this bit anyway. But I've been doing this for ages, so I'm going to carry on anyway. I think we will win. I think we will win. I'm feeling confident. I think it'll be a tough game. But I think we will win. I think Everton will look to grind out something to the ire of their fans who probably don't want them to. And I think we'll win. I'm going to say it's going to be difficult. I think usually we go ahead quite early these days. I can see us doing something similar. But then I think it'll only end up being 2-1. And I'll take it. I don't really care how we win at the moment as long as we win. On paper, given Everton's form, given our form, given the squad effort we've got, we should be comfortably winning this. But football isn't ever as simple as that. So I'm going to say just a 2-1. And guys, I want to know as well, obviously, what you think in terms of the team lineup and all that kind of stuff and what your score will be. Let me know in the comments below. And how important is this a game? It's absolutely huge. Don't forget as well, go and check out that Ball Street video I did where I talked about the title race. And thank you to all these people scrolling down the side of the screen here. Now, which side is that? I always forget. I think it's over. I can't remember. That side, maybe. These guys are my patrons, and these guys make this channel possible. You're all absolute heroes. I love every single one here, and also every single one who just watches these videos. Thank you. You're all absolute stars. Anyway, I've been Stephen. Hope you enjoyed this new camera angle once again. It's quite fun, isn't it? Anyway, I'm waffling now. Have a good day. Go watch my video from last night as well, where I talked about the title race. It was good fun. It was really good. Anyway, in a bit.